everyone. Thank you for listening to the Pain and Panic Trip Planning Podcast. My name is Haley Ragsdale, and I'm here with my brother, Owen Rederer.
Hey y'all.
We're a sibling duo who loves everything Disney, especially the theme parks. I'm a travel agent affiliated with Academy Travel and would love to help you plan your next Disney vacation. So you can reach out to me at haley.ragsdale at academytravel.com to start planning your next dream vacation at Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise Line, and so much more.
Woohoo!
All right, let's get this party started. Last week we talked about Epcot, some of our favorite things about Epcot, favorite memories, tips and tricks, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to it. This week we're doing something a little different, a little fun. We're going to be ranking our top 10 Disney movies. So like our personal preference, top 10 Disney movies, with a couple honorable mentions in there as well. And then we're also going to look at IMDb has like a list of like top 50. So we're going to look at their top 10 as well, just to kind of see how the general public versus what we think, and what our favorites are. Owen, anything you want to talk about before we get started?
Get ready. I've got a great list. Definitely going to be better than Haley's. So y'all let us know at the end who won, because I think I'm going to have the better list here. I have better taste.
The only news I have, Disney-wise, did you see that the Epcot France Pavilion set on fire?
I did see that. I was like, what were they doing in France to cause a fire? I mean, it looked like it could. It looked like it was in the restaurant, was it?
I don't know. That's what it looked like. It looked like it was, you know how you go back toward like the Ratatouille ride, and then there's also the crepe place and all that? It looked like it was
Yeah.
at the crepe place.
What's going on there, guys? Like how?
I have no idea, but France was on fire.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally filled with dark plumes of smoke. Everybody was evacuating. It was crazy.
Yeah,
I saw the
yeah.
video and I was like, what the?
I would not be happy if my Epcot day had been interrupted by France catching on fire.
I mean, that would be a pretty cool story, though.
Would be a
So,
cool story. I hope everyone's okay.
yeah.
Don't know what happened, but stay tuned. Maybe we'll tell you next week if we find out.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this. I'm so
So we're
ready.
gonna we're gonna start with some of our honorable mentions, and then we'll work our way to our like top Disney movie. I want to preface this by saying I didn't choose any Star Wars movies because they are Disney, but in my head they're not like Disney movies. You know what I mean? Like they weren't originally Disney. So I
That's
did
fair.
not include any Star Wars or Marvel movies, and I also did not include any Disney Channel original movies, which I was very tempted.
I'll be honest, I was too.
I mean, Motocross, great one.
I almost put Sky High on my list, but I did not.
I was looking at Sky High and I was like, oh, what a great movie. All
Oh,
right,
my.
do you want to go first with your. Oh, I also didn't put any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but I did want to mention that I love that, like, series. That and Star Wars and Marvel, but Pirates of the Caribbean especially because they took, like, a ride. They took a ride story and they turned it into a movie, and I want them to do that again.
Yeah.
They've done it with Haunted Mansion, but they haven't been as good. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is like a whole franchise now.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of live action, so let me tell you right now, you're not going to see much of that in my list. I have one
that's
live
fair.
action movie, and it's in my honorable mentions. So,
I don't think I have a single live action movie.
dang, I was expecting more live action out of you. I'm gonna
No,
be honest.
no.
Well, do you
Well,
want?
like I said, I wasn't putting any Star Wars on my list because
That's
then my
fair.
whole list would have been Star Wars.
Oh, that's fair.
All right. You want to do your honorable mentions first?
Yeah, but you can go first. Go ahead and list your three honorable mentions, and then I'll list mine.
So I had a couple. I had a couple more than three.
Oh my God! See how hard
So
this was for us.
I
You
know.
can really see it.
The first one I put as my honorable mention was Dumbo because I love Dumbo because I know.
That
Um,
is what? Not
I
even in
know
your
I have
top 10?
no because I don't like the movie. I'm gonna be real
Oh,
here.
oh
It's
my.
not. It's really depressing. And so like you'll notice that a lot of my top 10 movies are all movies that like cheer me up and Dumbo makes me sad. So I
Okay.
think that's where, but I love Dumbo. I love Mrs. Jumbo. I have a Dumbo tattoo. So I had to put it in there somewhere, but it's not like I'm not going to watch it and feel better after watching it. I'm going to cry.
I mean, I cry after every Disney movie.
That's
That's
fair.
isn't that the point of a Disney movie? I mean,
At least Pixar nowadays.
yeah.
Um, my other honorable mentions, I also put Robin Hood because that was one that I loved when I was little. But
That's
now it's just so like the animation's so old and stuff. It's cool to watch because it's like one of the classics, but man, you just have so many other good ones. And then for Jack, I put Treasure Planet and Atlantis on my honorable mentions because I
yeah.
feel like
Oh god.
I knew it was going to be bad with him being in the room while I was recording tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, I love them, but they're not my go-tos. And so, but I think they had a targeted audience of like young boys.
Young
And
nerd
so
losers like Jack. Come find me, Jack. Come find me. Okay.
um but yeah, they had like a specific audience and they were doing something different. And I think that was important. Plus,
Yeah.
Jack loves them, so I had to put them on there. I also had to put Cars on there for a similar reason because it's Lucas's favorite. We actually watched it twice today because I needed space. Um,
That's fair.
and then I also put Ratatouille in my honorable mentions just
My
because
lord.
I love that movie, but it always makes me hungry.
That is a lot of honorable mentions. Any more?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, I actually followed the three honorable mention limit. I will give a quick shout out to Dumbo for their like carnival scene where like it's all the cool animation. I love that scene. And also Treasure Planet almost did make my honorable mentions as well, but I've only seen that movie once, and while it was fantastic, I just don't feel like I have a strong enough connection to it. So for my three honorable
It's fair.
mentions. Number one, I had to put a princess movie somewhere on this list. Unfortunately, it didn't make my top 10, but it was really close, and that was Brave. I think Brave is a fantastic movie. It's my personal favorite princess movie. I just love how her whole personality, I think the art style, the way it's kind of gloomier for a princess movie. Um, I just think it's a really great movie, and it has a really good sense of humor throughout. So that was one of my honorable mentions. Second one was Onward. Definitely a lesser known movie, but I really love this movie. I loved how it was a whole story about this young troll like character who wants to be reunited with his dad after he finds out that he's like a spellcaster. I really love this movie because it has a very strong like Dungeons and Dragons theme to it. And me and Haley and Jack, we love Dungeons and Dragons. I am a dungeon master, and so is Haley. So uh, that movie just hit a special spot for me. I couldn't put it in my top 10 though, because once again, I've only watched it once. So, and then lastly, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is my only live action movie. And the reason why is the backstory to Rocket was absolutely emotionally crushing. Oh my gosh, I cried so
Yep.
hard during that movie. I mean, that is the saddest backstory I've ever heard, and it was amazing. I mean, that whole franchise is great comedy wise, but for them to hit such a powerful emotional note, amazing. But that's just for the three honorable mentions. We're about to get into this top 10. And trust me, I'm
Yeah, we are.
passionate about my movies. So, Haley, lead us into that top 10.
Let's do it. Okay, so my number 10 is The Incredibles.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
I love The Incredibles. I think it was a fantastic premise. I think they did it really well. Incredibles 2 is good, but it's not as good as the first one. But the first
Yeah.
one I just think is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Honestly, right off the bat, I'm already noticing that our lists are going to be very different. Um, Probably because of our age gap. I definitely have a lot of
Fair.
newer movies on here, probably, and I'm guessing you're not going to have a lot of the newer movies. But anyways,
I honestly don't think I have. Like, I have a couple early 2000s, and I want to say those are my oldest.
oh my gosh. Well,
Like,
you know what?
Incredibles might be my newest one.
Really?
Yeah!
Oh wow. Yeah, this is going to be you guys are about to see two whole different generations of Disney movies in the top 10. Um
Let's go, millennials!
my top or my number 10 is probably going to be the newest movie on this list and it's Soul. Um I love
Interesting.
this movie. I loved the whole concept of this guy passing away before he felt like he was supposed to. His whole journey as he kind of denies death and then is told to guide this child to find her purpose. Um, but like the whole time he's acting through like a selfish act. But you know, you kind of see how he comes around. You see how this kid develops its her passion, and you know, I just thought it was a really cool concept, and also the entire influence of jazz is beautiful. I love jazz music. I mean, it was a very powerful movie. But yeah, Haley, you're number one.
I didn't even think about Soul. Like, I think I've only seen it once.
It's oh my
I,
god, it's amazing. I love that movie. It's
I thought
beautiful.
it was good, but I don't know. It's not my favorite.
I don't know. I've noticed that the newer movies, like their emotional appeal is so strong, and I'm definitely a very empathetic person who is affected by those emotional influences. So um,
Yeah.
that one's the newest though. I mean, I do not have Turning Red on here. I can guarantee you that was a good. It was a bad movie, but it definitely is not close to my top 10. Uh,
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, my number 9 is a Goofy movie.
I should. That is low. Oh my gosh. I was not. I knew that was going to be on your top 10, but not that low.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I mean, I love it. Powerline will always have a place in my heart, but yeah. I mean, it's on the list. It's just not at the very top.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I know.
Well, you know, I'll be honest, Goofy movie didn't make my top 10, so, you know, I'm not that hurt by it, but, you know, good movie. I'm surprised that's your number 9, though. My number 9 is, I guess technically a live action, is going to be the Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Uh, that is definitely my oldest movie, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like one of the only stop motion movies I know by Disney. I don't know how many other ones they really have. Stop motion super cool. That whole theme is obviously amazing. I'm a big Halloween guy, so seeing a big skinny skeleton dance around, super cool. I love that movie.
The music is phenomenal too.
Oh yeah, music is fantastic, and obviously the art style. I'm a big art guy, so art influence is
Yeah.
strong.
Kind of sad I didn't put that on mine. Kind of wish I'd ranked it. Okay, my number 8. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So my number 9 was a Goofy movie. Number 8 is an extremely Goofy movie.
You know, that's valid. That is valid. Putting the second one over the first. That is
I
valid.
love that one. It's so good.
So what makes you put the extremely goofy movie over the original? Like what made that decision for you?
I think so. An extremely Goofy movie I could watch over and over again, like no problems.
Yeah.
Goofy movie I can watch every now and then. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Like I love it, but if I'm gonna pick one of the two, I'm gonna pick an extremely Goofy movie.
That's fair. I mean, I will say, I don't know. I think I might put a Goofy movie over Extremely if I was ranking it, just because of the Open Road song. That song has been like in my playlist for the past year or two, and I have that whole thing memorized. That is a fantastic song.
That's fair.
Perfect road trip song.
Eye to eye and stand out also bops.
That yeah, that is true. That one, I think that one takes the cake on music. And Possum's Farm, or
Yes.
was Lester's Possum Farm?
Lester's Possum Park.
Oh yeah, Park. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that movie.
It's so good.
Okay, are we on number 8 now? Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So this was actually one of your honorable mentions. I'm
Oh.
giving it number 8 to Ratatouille. Uh, this
Fair.
movie obviously is one that's stood the test of times. I will say the ride at Epcot is awful. I hate that ride. It made me so like motion sickness. Don't like the ride. But you know what? This is the movie, and the movie's fantastic. Uh, I took French in high school, so I'm a big fan of the culture of France, and just in general, I mean, it's a great movie about a chef, and it has a lot of good comedic notes. So, great movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm always hungry after I watch it, though.
Yeah, I want to make ratatouille. I really don't think it would taste as good as it looks, but you know what? I want to make it. I really
That's so
do.
fair. That's so. I mean, it's literally just like eggplant and zucchini with like tomato
Tomato.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you
and
know, maybe on the TikTok account we'll do a video where we make ratatouille for fun.
deal. Let's do it. I'll let you make it, and Lucas can sit on your shoulders and pull. Well, you don't have hair.
Pull
Pull
on
on your
my
ears.
I was gonna say, pull on my hair. Pull on my hair, Haley. Excuse me, I'm bald. For anybody listening to the podcast, I am a bald man. I cannot ratatouille. Okay. Anyways,
Ain't no rats controlling you.
yeah, yeah. Unless they're pulling on my mustache hairs, but then you're gonna see them. COVID times, I'd
Ew.
have to wear a mask. Anyways,
Ew.
go ahead with your seven.
All right, my number 7 is Aladdin.
Interesting. That's a good princess movie. I can't
Aladdin.
deny.
I love Aladdin.
Is that your highest ranked princess movie or?
No.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to see what other princess movies beat out Aladdin. Because
Hmm.
honestly, I don't think many are better than Brave, and so I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
you honestly choose for that.
I also will say I love Princess and the Frog, and it did not make my list.
That's fair. It didn't make my list either, but that is a great movie. Oh, like just artistically speaking, oh my gosh, that
Yes.
is a beautifully color schemed movie.
In music wise, it's fantastic. It's
Yeah,
so good.
absolutely.
Okay, what's your number 7?
Okay, number seven is going to have to be Wally. Um,
Ew.
I
Boo.
okay, you shut your mouth. You don't talk about my little robot friend like that. You do not talk about Wally like that. Okay, that movie is fantastic. It is. It is
Seven.
so like not a lot of words, obviously, because you got robots. So it's a very scenic movie. But I think that movie is hilarious. If you haven't watched Wally, all you listeners out there, if you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it. There is one specific scene where Eve is scanning like all the like surroundings or whatever, and you just see Wally get run over by some shopping carts. It's the funniest thing ever. You need to go watch it. I mean, that movie stands the test of time, and anybody who hates that movie sucks. Anyways, sorry. Your number, your number six, Haley. Around number six.
Oh yeah. Okay, my number 6, Monsters University.
Okay, you know what? That's a good poll.
Yeah. I mean, I love Monsters Inc. Loved it when it came out, but then they came out with Monsters University, and I was like, when do they ever make sequels better than the first? And I think that this like Monsters University is better than Monsters Inc.
Interesting. I love the Monsters Inc. franchise. So, and you know what? Monsters University was a fantastic movie. It really
Mm.
was. Um, going into my number six, this one is another newer movie. It's Elemental. This movie, I feel like, is not as like highly rated among other people that I do, like how I rate it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I just love the idea of like this because, in my opinion, it's like the better version of Zootopia. I really did not like Zootopia that much,
Yeah.
and I guess it's like the other side of nature in a way.
Yeah.
I just love how each element group, I guess, has its own like personality trait that most of them share. Like the water elements are super weepy and super emotional. The fire elements are more angry, and it's just a super cool movie. And I also like the cultural influences it has. If you didn't know, that movie was based on immigrant families, specifically Korean families, But it's just a very touching story and definitely made me cry in the end. Oh my gosh, I cried so hard at that movie. But
You
just a
are the
super great
water
movie.
guy.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've cried at so many Disney movies. I am such a blubberer. Blubberer? Is that a word?
I'm sure, blubberer.
Okay, you know what that means, guys? We are getting into our top five here. This is where the money counts. All right?
What money?
No money. Both of us are broke. Okay? Haley, hit us with your number five.
All right, number 5, Toy Story.
Ugh.
It's like the original Pixar movie. It was like the first, like, I mean, it is like the first animation of its time. Like that
Yeah.
was one of the influential movies for the way animation styles changed. Plus, it's talking toys, and they're hilarious. And the first one, the second one, and the third one are all fantastic. Number 4 sucks, but the first three, they should have just stopped after 3. But the first 3, fantastic. That was like like when I was little, that was the movie that like mom and dad put on, and I would sit there and watch it. So I had
Yeah.
to put it on my list somewhere.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I wouldn't say I hate Toy Story, but it's definitely not in my top 10. Not really that close. The first one was okay. Second one was all right. Third one was really good though. I did like the third one. But yeah, going into my number five, I actually am gonna have to disagree. I think it was with your number 6 spot. I think Monsters Inc. the original is the better Monsters Inc. movie, and that's gonna be my number 5. Don't get me wrong, University was fantastic, and honestly, University would deserve to be in my top 10, but I only wanted to put one Monsters Inc. in there because there's plenty of other movies that deserve a spotlight. But, when I was comparing the two, I just felt like Monsters Inc. had the most nostalgic feel. The art style felt, a little bit more. I guess, I guess it is just nostalgic for me. That was one of the movies I did grow up watching. That intro with the cartoon doors always gets me. I love watching that intro. Yes. Seeing all the letters fly out, and oh my gosh,
Yep.
that is a beautiful intro. But yeah, I put Monsters Inc. Above Monsters University, so
That's fair. They're both great, so
they
I'm
are.
okay with
Yeah, no doubt
That's
about that.
cool.
And I know we're both excited for the new addition to Hollywood Studios. So
Oh, it's gonna be so cool. I literally can't wait to ride the door coaster. It's gonna be awesome.
it's gonna be amazing. Anyways,
All right, my number 4,
yep,
Lilo and Stitch.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those that I can like put on and close my eyes and I can see the entire movie as I'm listening to the audio. It's one of my comfort movies. But
Okay.
I don't know that I'm not very excited for the live action. I'm gonna
Really?
be 100% here. Yeah, and I felt like the thing that was gonna make or break it for me was how they made Pleakley and Jumba look. And the
Mm,
latest trailer that they released, like Pleakley is like it's got like cloaking machine basically.
yeah, and turns
So
into
he's
like an
not,
actual human.
yeah, and so he's not like an alien in wigs. That's like the funniest part.
Yeah.
I mean, I understood they couldn't do that, but like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I am pretty excited for that movie. I don't value Lilo and Stitch as high as you probably do. So, I'm not as, I guess, critical of what the live action is going to be like. I don't
That's
know. I
fair.
just think Stitch looks super cute in the live action, so I'm excited to check it out.
He does. It'll all just be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'll definitely go see it, but
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people were mad about that, though, where Pleakley wasn't.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They really didn't have great options for that. I feel like that's probably the best option they could have done is using like a cloaking device or something, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to see aliens in wigs.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right, what's
Um,
your number 4?
Going into my number 4, this one I actually feel is rated kind of low for my list, but Number four is going to be Inside Out. Um,
Interesting.
I love Inside Out. One of my favorite movies of all time. As you guys probably heard, if you guys watched the last Owen's Disney Magical Minigames on TikTok, the character was Fear. Fear is one of my favorite Disney characters overall. I just love that movie because I think it's a super cool play on the idea of how emotions work. Like it's just I love that whole idea that they're just taking such a normal thing and making it so creative, right? Um,
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 was good as well. Definitely wasn't as good as the first, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a great movie overall. I've watched it so many times.
I appreciated it too because it was like a new concept.
Yeah.
Like I'm honestly tired of remakes and tired of them just doing old things again. Like I liked the new ideas, and that was a new idea that I think they did really well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can be very critical about the newer movies. And I totally get
Yeah.
that. Like I have definitely been critical about the newer movies before. But once you really give them a shot and watch them and try and be like as unbiased with nostalgia as you can, you really start to see how like still well made these movies are. And obviously for me, a lot of them have started to make my top 10 list. So,
It's fair.
all right, Haley.
We're our top threes.
Mm-hmm. These are the
Right,
big ones.
my number three. Are you ready? Can you guess?
Yeah. See, I know that there's one movie that's going to be in your top three, but I don't think it's going to be number three, so I'm not going to guess.
It is Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, see, I know the other movie that's going to be in your top two. I already know what it's going to be because it's also in my top two. So, but anyways, go ahead.
I just love that movie. I think it's hilarious. It makes me laugh every time I watch it. It's another one of my comfort movies. Like if I'm having a bad day, that's a good go-to. Um, Kronk and Yzma are hilarious. They're probably like they might be my favorite villains. No, okay, Hades is my favorite villain, but
I was going to say Hades is
they're,
mine.
they're pretty close up there. Um, so yeah, I just love that movie. It's great. It's a
Yeah,
good time.
honestly, that movie does deserve to be in my top 10, but it didn't make it. I
Oh,
knew you were probably going to put it somewhere in there. So it was, trust me, it was on my list. I mean, I'm going to cover it, but you can see I crossed out. I had a lot of movies lined up. So, um, no, that's a great movie. My number three spot. Now, Haley, you might be a little surprised by this because I bet you were betting this was going to be number one. Can
oh
you
my
guess what
gosh,
it
are you
is?
gonna say Finding Nemo?
I am going to say Finding Nemo.
No way,
Finding
that's
Nemo.
not your top.
Now, let me say, Finding Nemo is a very big comfort movie for me. Haley can vouch for me. When I was younger, I used to watch Finding Nemo like twice a day for like 3 years. And same with Finding Dory. I was probably in middle school or like early high school watching Finding Dory over and over again. I was a loser. Um, but that franchise, I love the ocean, so the connection to the ocean, um, you know, it's just a funny movie. It definitely stood the test of time, even animation wise and definitely humor wise. I rewatched it. It had been a while since I watched it, but I rewatched it like a month ago, and it was just as funny as when I was 4 years old. So, love that movie. Haley was definitely expecting it to be higher. I already knew that, but these other two are fantastic.
I
And
totally thought that was your number one.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Haley number two.
My number two is Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, ew.
Hmm.
I,
Rude.
I go ahead, go ahead.
Well, Belle's always been my favorite princess because she's a
Okay,
brunette who loves to read.
fair enough.
But it was like if you're thinking about the like animation, like the generations of animation and how they changed over time, it was just gorgeous for the technology and things that they had at the time. They did a phenomenal job with that. So if
Yeah,
you're thinking of like classic Disney movies, that's like the original art style, that is like Beauty and the Beast is the one my brain goes to.
yeah,
And then I feel like you get into that newer animation with like Little Mermaid, and then you get into like the next one with like Lilo and Stitch, things like that, and then you get to Pixar and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean, she's my princess. She's my girl.
That's fair. Honestly, for me, I feel like a lot of the princess movies haven't really like stood the test of time in terms of like animation style and stuff. Like for instance, now I know Hannah, my girlfriend, is probably not going to be watching this far into the podcast, so I'm okay saying this. But we watched Little Mermaid the other day, and while that's a great movie and it's her favorite, I really did not think the animation style was as good as I remembered.
Yeah,
Um,
here.
it really wasn't as good as I remember. And don't get me wrong, it's still a great movie, but I don't know.
But
Nah.
you have to think about like what they were using.
Oh
And
no, yeah.
like that's super important. And if you think about like how animation style has developed over time, I feel
Yeah.
like those movies are fundamental and super important to where we are now.
Yeah, and you know what? Like whenever I do like my personal animations and stuff, it is a very similar style to like how they used to do it, that like frame by frame animation.
Yeah,
And there's a
exactly.
lot of great scenes in there, like when Flounder and Ariel are getting chased by the shark in the shipwreck. Like that scene is easily the best scene in the whole movie for me,
Yeah,
because you can see the frame by frame animation in the shark, and I love it. Uh,
yeah. I would
but yeah,
argue that the chef, when he's trying to like catch Sebastian.
okay, yeah, that was pretty good too. Maybe I'm hating a little too much on Little Mermaid. I do love
Yeah,
that movie, but it.
seriously.
Anyways, number two for me is going to be Hercules. Uh,
Oh,
I love Hercules. Hades is my number one villain. He's hilarious. Pain and Panic, obviously, what this podcast is based off of. Pain and Panic are hilarious. That art style. Now, I think what makes the art style is the color scheme. Because like a lot of that frame by frame animation was always the same, but the like the art style, like the color scheme, was so bright, so bold, so beautiful for its time, and I loved it. And also the Fates, I mean, they're amazing. They sing so beautifully. I love the Fates. Who puts a
one time.
crown in gladiator? Hercules. Anyways, Haley, number one.
Hercules.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well, and my girl Meg, like, she honestly, like, okay, I said Belle's my favorite princess, but like, Meg's my favorite goddess. Like, she kills it.
Fair enough.
Um, I love that movie. I mean, there's so many fantastic quotes in that movie too. Like, call IXII! Like, that's hilarious. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Pain and Panic, like you said, they're hysterical. Hades is hysterical. Like, oh, it's just a great movie. And the music's good. Like,
Yeah.
just everything about that movie. Like, I don't feel like there's anything bad in that movie.
No, there really isn't. And you know what? Like you were saying, the music, honestly, top tier. Maybe the best Disney music of all Disney movies, in my opinion.
Like, this is the only movie that I want them to make a live action. Because if Danny
Yes.
DeVito is not Phil in the live action, I
Yeah.
will throw a fit.
Oh my god. And that would be such an amazing movie. Like that would be a hard movie to mess up. Maybe like making the Titans would be hard, but I know that they would figure out a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah. I'm hoping we're like one step closer since they just released the Broadway show on the West End in London.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
hoping that's like we're getting closer and closer to hopefully a live action before Danny DeVito dies.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. No, literally I was gonna say, I was like, Danny DeVito, his clock is ticking. I mean,
I
he's dead.
know. And if it's anybody except him, I'm gonna be so upset. It has to
Yeah.
be him.
Especially with all that Jersey Mike's he's eaten. I mean, you see the commercials.
Yeah, right. He doesn't have long if he keeps getting him Mike's way.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
All right, what's your number one, Oh?
I don't know. Can you guess it?
I actually don't know because I was banking on Finding Nemo.
That's fair. Yeah, this one. I mean, once I say it, you'll totally be like, oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
My number one movie is Wreck It Ralph. I,
Oh, interesting.
I love that movie. Okay, now that movie, besides Finding Nemo, is definitely my number one repeated movie. I think first of all, I'm a big gamer, so I get a lot of the references that they put in that movie. I think that the characters are all hilarious. I think that the way that they made the movie and the story that it follows is incredible. The emotional notes that hit in that movie that shouldn't hit in the first place. I mean, you think of Wreck-It Ralph, that should not be an emotional movie, but I cry every single time, especially when Wreck-It Ralph is smashing Vanellope's cart with his fist and
Oh,
she's crying.
yes.
Oh my god, that makes me so sad. And then, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie, but when he essentially is sacrificing himself and he's saying the bad guy quote, oh my gosh. Oh, like that is peak for me. I love that movie. And not to mention, I don't know, not a lot of people count it. I tend to count it, but I consider Vanellope von Schweetz a Disney princess. Some people say she is, some people say she isn't. Technically, she's a queen, but if we're saying that, it's my favorite princess movie for sure. So, yeah, fantastic
That's
movie.
fair. She's definitely a princess.
Also, if you have never looked up the actual names of the candy racers, you need to go look it up. My number one favorite is the cherry racer. Her name is Jubilina Bing Bing. So, if you want to go look up the names, they're hilarious. They really are. But yeah,
Yeah, Jubilina Bing Bing is pretty good. And then it goes, Cherry Bomb!
cherry bomb. And then she gets hit by the pie, and it says "a la mode." I love that movie. So funny, so great.
It is pretty good. I feel like it was just, like, it's a newer movie, so it doesn't hit me in the, like, nostalgic feels as much.
Yeah,
Um, that's the only reason I don't feel like I ranked it. Like, I enjoy it, I love it, but it doesn't hit me in the feels.
yeah. I mean, for me, that is a nostalgic movie almost because it was from when I was a little bit younger anyway. So I love that movie.
Yeah. Okay, so I also, just for like reference, so that was our top 10 Disney movies. But just for like reference, I went ahead and looked up a list on IMDb. So it had like the top 50 Disney movies based on like ratings and different, I don't know exactly what all they took into account, but different things like that. So
Yeah.
they're 13, 12, and 11. So they're honorable mentions. Number 13 was a Goofy movie. Number 12 was Meet the Robinsons, which I'm
Oh,
surprised wasn't on your list.
dude, it was close.
Number
It was in my list for them, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it over the others.
uh, That's fair. Number 11 was Mulan, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's
Which
solid.
I love Mulan. So,
Mhm.
okay. Number 10, which I'm surprised neither of us had this on either of our lists, was The Lion King.
I hate The Lion King. I do not think that that is a movie worth
You.
top 10.
What? That's
It's
crazy. It's such a pretty movie.
I mean, it's all right. I know it's our mom's favorite, and like I'm sure I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite, but I just think it's boring. I mean, the savannah is such a boring place to do a movie on. I mean, Jungle Book was way cooler. Like Jungle Book, like I like the idea of being in a jungle, being in the Sahara. What is in the safari? Animals and dirt. That's it. Anyways,
Oh my goodness.
and the
Wow.
animation style.
Well, now that you've hated on The Lion King,
Anyways, go ahead.
yes, it is. It's gorgeous. Okay, whatever. We're not going to agree on anything with this one. Number 9, what they had as Toy Story.
Eh, okay.
Number 8, they had down as A Bug's Life,
Ooh, okay.
which
That's
I
fair.
kind of forgot about.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Number 7, Hercules,
That is low.
which,
Okay.
you know, was my number 1. Your number 2. I know, right? Like I feel like it should be higher up, but that's okay. Number
Yeah.
6, they had as Pocahontas,
Okay.
which
Interesting.
I was like, I didn't really like.
That one did not
Yeah, I feel
stand
like
the
it's
test
one of the
of time.
classics, and that's why it's on there.
Yeah. That's lame.
No,
Lame.
it's just
Lame.
all right. Their top fives. Number 5 they had down as Aladdin.
Okay.
Number 4, Monsters Inc.
Okay, solid.
Number 3, all right. Number 3 was Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
Okay, so number 2 was Princess and the Frog. And then their number 1 that they had down was Rapunzel, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. I like Rapunzel. I like the story. I think she's a good princess. I think the animation style in that one is like, I think it was one of the first of like the newer animation because
Yeah,
Rapunzel was before Frozen, right? I'm pretty
I
sure.
think so.
And so that was the first of like that style for the princesses.
Yeah, no, that was a good movie. I definitely wouldn't say it's the best princess movie. I'm surprised. Like I thought, I think Brave is way better. Mulan is better. Um, Princess and the Frog is better. I mean, that one did rank pretty high, but no.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. Well, anything else you'd like to add, O?
No, I don't think so. I think we both had pretty solid lists. I'm trying to think if there's any other movies I want to shout out real quick. I almost put Prep and Landing on here. It's a Christmas movie that was on Disney Channel, and that movie's fantastic. It's about little elves.
Bells.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any other ones I really want to shout out.
Yeah, I feel like we covered quite a few. I'm sure like there's somebody that's like, "Oh my gosh, you didn't say my favorite movie."
Yeah.
If
Um,
we didn't say your favorite movie, sorry, let us know.
yeah. If I was gonna shout out
We'll give
another,
it a shout.
I had one other Marvel movie in my list, and that was Thor Ragnarok. But that one's a good one. I don't know,
That is a good one. That's fair.
but yeah, I think we had
All
some
right.
list.
Well, yeah. Let us know what your favorite movie is. Quick recap. My favorite's Hercules. Owen's is Wreck-It Ralph. Let us know what yours is.
Yeah, let us know who has a
Uh,
better list.
oh yeah. Let us know who has the better list. Obviously me if you're a
You
millennial.
shut your mouth. You didn't even have Wally on there. You didn't even have Wally.
Oh, that movie. Ugh.
Don't. Ugh, Wally. Wally's a fantastic movie. It has fat people in it. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
they roll around. They roll around. They're great.
It's basically the future is what Disney was trying to say when they made that movie.
Yeah, they need to make a ride based on Wally where it's like everybody sits in a chair and then it looks like the ship is tilting and you just slide with the ship. That would be so funny. That would be so
That would
fun.
be funny. That would be pretty funny. Maybe we'll talk about the Pixar theory in a later episode and how all the Pixar movies are connected
Oh yeah.
because that's pretty fun.
They all do
But
a little like show of the next movie or whatever.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
fun thing to do.
Um, but yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Like I said, let us know what your favorite Disney movie is. Let us know who you think had the better ranking list. That's all for this week's episode of the Pain and Panic Trip Planning Podcast. So thank you for joining us. We hope you're one step closer to planning your magical Disney vacation. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. We haven't decided what we're going to be talking about next week, so stay tuned. If you need help planning your next Disney vacation, I'd love to help you. So contact me at haley.ragsdale at academytravel.com. Follow me on Instagram at haley.ragsdale travel and Owen at O_Rederer. Until next time, bye-bye.
See you guys.